How's it going, my fucking fine fathers who are trying to figure out what the hell is going on in their life and, just keep moving forward because that's what we do. We keep moving forward and it doesn't matter what happened in the past, and we're just gonna keep on going because I already did 5 minutes of this once and my mouth was this fucking Sahara, fucking some very dry place. That's what my mouth was. Dry as fuck. And after about, 4.5 minutes, I was just like unable to speak. So we're gonna try this again. Let's see. I think. What are we talking about today? I lost my fucking notes already. Man, I am all over the place. I guess I should start, the title of this episode. You know what we're talking about. Fuck that. Let me start with my examples of not being a good man so that I can express what traits I think a good man should have clearly. So, there's been multiple times that I've been led by emotions and been, it's more of a, like, you poke me, I'm gonna fucking poke you back type situation. And I don't like being poked. And it's just like, as soon as it happens, I feel like I have to retaliate back. And when I retaliate back, it's usually very mean. And I feel like that in and of itself is something that's like, okay, if I am a man and I am content and happy with who I am as a person, then no matter what you say to me, it has no effect on me. Like, throw your words, throw whatever you want. Like, if I know who I am, then your opinion doesn't matter, Like, I want to use just dumb analogies all the time, but I feel like it's not necessary to get the point across. I think you got me. I think we're on the same page. I feel like whenever the topic of being a good man is brought up, though, it's also like kind of shoved into a conversation of religion at the same time, with that context of like, oh, what is a good man under these parameters? Like, some versions of a good man is, oh, he has a wife and they stay together and work it out for their whole life. And some versions is, there's a guy and he has fucking as many wives as he can carry in his fucking van, and I guess as long as he can fucking fork the bill, then they're all good. So I don't even necessarily mean like in that specific aspect, but like that's just an example. Like, there is, I think, undeniable traits that go past the point of religion to define what makes someone a good man. And a lot of those traits are like explained through philosophy. And okay, let's say, for example, I'm in traffic. I used to have very bad road rage. I mean, just the slightest. I grew up in a very small fucking town, and in this very small town in the fucking South, there's a bunch of big diesel trucks, and they all love to black smoke. And if you don't know what that is, it's where a very big truck takes a shit on your car when you're driving behind them, and you have to just like drive through their fucking shit and be like, that's cool. except for one time I was like, you know what, that isn't cool. And I just followed this guy for a while. And it was me and maybe two of my other friends, but they were both sitting there just like being like, dude, chill, it's fine, like it's not that big of a deal. But I was like, actually, to me, in this moment, it is a big deal. And when he finally stopped, I walked up to him and I was like, do you have a problem? Because it wasn't just like a small amount. It was an amount to where I was like I felt vindicated in my actions in those moments. In that moment being like, oh, I have the right to be mad and I'm gonna fucking confront this guy. And when I did, he was just like, dude, I don't want any problems. And I was like, fuck, man, I wish you did want a problem. But like, you completely fucking diffused the situation. So now I have to be like the fucking asshole and be like, okay, and then just walk away still mad. But like, in that situation, it is better to be the person who just diffuses the situation. Like, to just be like, you know what, this doesn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, if you punch me in the face right now, unless you miraculously fucking kill me, then like, I guess it doesn't really fucking matter. Maybe you'll go to jail and my face will hurt for a day or two, but like, it's not that big of a fucking consequence. So, yeah, I don't know. Does it make sense what I'm trying to, if it doesn't make sense, just put in the fucking comments, like, just put redacted, because that makes me fucking laugh. Because it's like, we can't say, you can't say the other word, but you can say like a word that's like fucking one letter off, basically, like, and I'm redacted for thinking it's fucking one letter off, but we're here. And there's also, seems like there's little camps on what makes you a good man on YouTube, and some of them are like you can't feel anything except for the desire to make money and fuck bitches, and then the other half is like, oh, you can just be a good man who follows the universe, and if your wife wants to suck a dude's dick, then that's fine, and you can just accept that, and it doesn't change anything. And I'm just like, why are we so extreme on either side? Why is there not just a belief? I guess there is. I'm not saying anything that's fucking groundbreaking and like world changing here. It's just been what I've been thinking about. I'm just at an age to where I realize I had limited portrayals of a good, solid dude, like I had my friends' dads in some situations, but it's always like, that's a different situation, that's not something I'm necessarily looking up for. And my dad, he's a good guy, I love my dad, but was he always a good man? That's questionable. So then, I don't know, it's just walking the line. And I think it's a big part of it is just knowing yourself, like knowing who you are. If you're a guy who fucking, I don't know, you like to sit there and do your fucking thing. You don't want to be around people constantly. And you have someone in your life that's like wanting to be around you constantly, then that might be something that's not working out, and accepting that. And maybe if it's the other way, if you're wanting to be around someone constantly and they're like, oh, kind of standoffish and not putting the same energy back, then as a man you have to evaluate your own worth and realize what is worth putting that effort into. And it's a hard evaluation, and it's like at a certain point we all have to be done looking back, because I feel like people are defined too much by what happened in the past, and that blinds them to becoming new people moving forward. And that kind of sucks, because just the opportunity to grow, I think, is what being just a person in general, not even a man, is just about. Like, everything changes. The fucking trees grow, grass grows, fucking everything in life grows. Why would we not? Why would we sit here and just be the same fucking assholes that we always are? My laptop is about to die, so we're gonna take our little fucking halftime here, and we will be right back, but you won't even know it. And we're back. The coincidence of what just happened in between the pause is like, I was about to sit down and start recording again and be like, oh, I go off on these tangents and blah, 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 blah. But as soon as I did, fucking Robin, my cat, wanted to come inside. And I wasn't paying no attention. I just opened the door and was going to let her fucking in. And then as she walked in, I was like, you have like a leaf on your face or something? And she sat it on the ground and then got up and started eating her fucking food. And I was like, wait, what the fuck is that? Because it just kind of disappeared as soon as she put it down. It just went, just fucking took off. And I was like, oh, what the fuck is that? And so I had to sit there and, move the shit around. And it was just, like, I don't know fucking lizards, but, one of them little fuckers that can grow their tails back. And, like, it had lost its tail. And was just sitting there, trying to fucking hide. And be like anytime I fucking moved shit around trying to get to it, it just bolted to another place to hide. So I'm like, okay, I have two scenarios right now, because its dumbass kept trying to hide behind a fucking son of a bitch. I can't think of what that thing's called right now. I used the son of a bitch fucking whatever beside of a certain type of weight, the kind that Joe Rogan, that makes him look like a monkey, them big fucking arms, like, I don't know, those kettlebells. Is that right? I don't know. Somebody fucking look it up for me and tell me down in the comments. But yeah, it just kept on trying to hide right beside of a fucking kettlebell, and I was like, I could just pick this fucking kettlebell up and just squish this tiny lizard, and it'd have no like major consequences on anything. Or I could just fucking take the same amount of effort and just get it out the fucking door. And I was like, well, I should probably just let it out the door. There's no need to fucking have to clean up fucking lizard guts from my floor right now, so we'll just go that way. Now, I can't control if the cat, who I threw right back outside after she brought in a fucking random animal, I can't control if she grabs that lizard again and, decides to finish her meal, but that's not really up for me to decide. She's been fucking on one lately, though, I guess. Like, so if you're a cat person, I'm sure you're gonna love this portion of the fucking episode. But if you're not, then like, you need to evaluate what you need from something else in your life, because cats are chill as fuck. They won't acknowledge your existence for a month and then just be like, what's up, I'm here, I'm going to give you all of everything. And lately she's just been out there fucking catching birds, catching lizards, catching fucking everything she can. And it's not great waking up to a bunch of tiny dead animals on your porch, but it's also like, fuck yeah, she's doing her job. Like, she's serving her purpose. Shaggy, he ain't doing nothing but fucking over there eating and drinking. Don't look at me sad like that. You know how it is, dog. Fucking. Yeah, but I don't know. I completely lost the fucking thread on what I was talking about, but the connection between me getting the lizard, and like the ability to have killed it or not, and like there's some people who would say, yeah, just kill the fucking thing, it doesn't matter. Like, I guess in my opinion, if I was to kill it, somehow fucking kill it, cook it, and eat it, then that's acceptable, and that's like actually the way to do it. But if it's just some random fucking thing, I mean, I guess not random. If there's something in there, I'm allergic to bees, so if a bee gets in my house, I'm gonna grab the fucking strongest cleaner that I have and just spray that motherfucker until it's dead. But if it's not something that's gonna cause anybody else any harm, then I'm just kind of like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Why are you in my space? Like, what's the problem? Being a man, I think if you can shit in a public bathroom while other men are in there, and you can, just fucking let it rip. If you gotta fucking go, some people, you hear some roughness. Like, sometimes people will just be sitting there, and I'll be in a gas station bathroom taking a shit, and then beside you just hear, and it's just like, oh, buddy, I've been there. Like, he didn't choose to make that noise. That just kind of came out of him. And, like, especially the older that I get and the foods that I eat, like, everything is hot. Everything is spicy that I eat. Like I'm somehow Mexican when I am very, very clearly white as fuck. I don't know why I said it like that. But, yeah, so sometimes you get in them bathrooms and a lesser man would be like, oh no, I can't do this in here. Like, I need the sanctity of being alone and in my space where I don't have intruders. But, like, I'll shit with the fucking stall door open. Test me. I'll sit there, and if you really test me, I might shit on the floor. Like, I will not play games, especially when something needs to come out of my body. And I only meant, like, oh jeez, oh man, oh well, let's fucking keep moving this fucking ship along, buddy. A part of me that I've not really talked about a lot is my whole fucking phase of just not wanting anything more from women than just sex. Like, I had built up this complex, with women that was like, oh, this woman hurt me, this woman hurt me, this woman hurt me. And then through all that hurt, I was just like, you know what? There's nothing else I need from women other than sex. So I would, have sex with a lot of different women. And, at a certain point, you realize that that doesn't really fulfill anything. Like, if you don't do the work on yourself, then you can sleep with the whole fucking universe. Like, you can, what was it? Lil Wayne said something about fucking the world. I don't know. I can't think of the immaculate bar from fucking Wheezy right now, but that's fine. Yeah, I forgot, like, how I was tying that in. Through me going through that, realizing that no matter how many fucking random people I sleep with, that it's not fixing anything that's inside of me. It took a lot of fucking time to realize that, honestly. Like, I just got so tired of building relationships that I stopped even building friendships, and old friendships I did have, I was just like, this isn't worth it to me anymore. And honestly, I feel like this is something that so many guys go through, whether you know, if you was a fucking whore or not. But like, at a certain point as a guy, it gets to be a lot to try and have fucking friends, to just like have people that you talk to, and it's just, you know, be like, oh, let's hang out and shit. Like, at some points it's just like, you know, when I get the opportunity to just fucking be, then I'm gonna fucking chill, you know. Like, I don't know, it gets crazy, man. And then when you have a brain like mine, say you are hanging out with your friends, it makes you feel bad for doing that. So I think that's it's a good quality to have, to just be in the moment, just to be accepting, like, you know what, this is what I've decided to do. I'm here, let's fucking get it. And, you know, I've had those times, but there's also the times that I'm questioning, and maybe in those moments of questioning, it's about listening to the questions, and if they're fucking valid questions, maybe, you know, expanding on that a little bit. I don't know, guys, if you're listening to this whole thing, I really, you know, would like some clarity on if what I'm saying is connecting, because sometimes, you know, like I said, I just be pulling shit from the old booty hole, and words fall out. They just fucking, I turn on the faucet of fucking words, you know, and they just keep on going blah, 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 blah. I think having a son changes a lot of aspects too, because you're like, oh shit, I don't want him to do these things that I did, because I learned these lessons, and trying to teach him how to, like, you know, he's 3 years old, so right now, like, when he gets mad, he'll sit there and, you know, tense up his whole body and just be like, I'm mad, like, and sitting there screaming and stuff, and I'm just like, dude, it's cool that you're mad, like, I get it, but we gotta work through this shit. And, you know, I think for a minute especially, it's good to have that release be like physical. So as I've been starting to do what I realized was calisthenics, I just thought it was regular fucking working out, and suddenly they came up with a fucking name for it, and now it's calisthenics. But I've been trying to be like, oh hey Leo, like, do you want to do sit-ups? He'll just sit beside me and, you know, do the best sit-up a 3-year-old can do. Or I'll be sitting there trying to do my pull-ups, and he'll be like, I want to turn, and he'll just sit there and hang. And hangings, you know, if any of these kids that I have got my fucking curvy ass back, you know, my back's like a fucking country road in the middle of nowhere, just fucking curvy as shit, and if they got that, then a little bit of hanging won't hurt them. It's funny that a word like hanging can have so many different contexts depending on how you use it. Like, it can be just a chill thing, like hanging out, or, you know, you could be hanging somebody, and that's just the beauty of fucking words, I guess. I don't know. I was gonna say English, but like, other cultures have that shit too, I'm sure. Yeah, just the desire, you know, you want to teach your son how to be a good man, but you also want to teach your daughters what a good man is, so they don't end up with a fucking asshole. Because believe me, I will be the first one to say, hey buddy, you suck. I'm not gonna say like, oh hey, you can't fucking date this guy, because when in history has that worked? But what I will say is, hey, you suck, buddy. I think that's fair. But especially, or if my fucking son brings home a crazy lady, I'm gonna be like, you, ma'am, suck. You suck, okay? It's fine, but you do. Just get used to it. But identifying the traits that, I guess, hell, who I would want him to grow into and then be with. Yeah, exactly. Like, and exemplifying those traits within myself so that they have that example. And something that I lacked very much so in my life was stability. There were days I would come home from school and not know if I was going to be in the same house when I got home as I was when I left. There were days I didn't even ride the bus home. They would come and pick me up and be like, we moved again. And it wasn't like we were moving, big cities for, crazy reasons. It was, we would move all over town because we couldn't keep rent going. And eventually, you run out of people you can screw over in one town, so you move to the town beside of it, and you slowly bounce around and it works itself out. And yeah, but I never had that stability of being like, this is home. So now, I do have that desire to provide that for my kids, to be like, this is the place that you will always come. But at the same time, I move into a place, and as soon as everything's done being packed, I'm like, all right, I'm going to start looking for something else now. Like, I'm kind of done here. I've done everything I can. It's all out of the box. So we might as well just put it back in the box and go somewhere else. Yeah, and I don't know, there was always... Shaggy, you're good, man. I don't know what this microphone picks up in each mode, but I play with the modes sometimes. So if you're like, hey, the audio sounds better here than there, or your voice sounds better, maybe I sound more sexy when I talk like this, or when I'm like projecting my voice and I talk like this, maybe this is what you want to hear. Maybe you want to hear me talk like this, huh? Alright guys, this has been 27, almost 28 minutes of straight up fucking nonsense. I hope somebody listens to this and understands what I'm trying to say. And if you do, then you can leave a like. I said a million times, comment. But most importantly, bye.